If you've made your way through reading behaviour 1 to 5, you obviously have more than a passing interest in the sand martin, and will know what's happening when you visit a colony. You may well be happy just understanding what's happening, but you may perhaps want to actually help the sand martins by getting the information to where it can be used. In Britain, the organisation waiting for that information actually is the British Trust for Ornithology. You may think that because you won't be able to tell them exactly how many young are fledged from a nest, that they won't be particularly interested, but this is not so. You can give them valuable information on the time when they're actually breeding, when they're laying, feeding, and when the young are fledging. And this is particularly important at this time, or so most people think. Just knowing when the female is being mate carded and when the young are ready to fledge at the hole entrance, as you see here, places the timing of the brood well enough. These birds hanging on are mostly adults waiting and sorting themselves out for the next brood. Some may actually have a female sitting on eggs while there are young from the first brood. If you would like to help further by providing information, you'll need some sort of shorthand for noting what's happening at the colony. This is the shorthand that I use for each of the types of behaviour that you will see at a breeding site. You may well find some other method more suitable for you. You're only going to know if a bird is digging if you actually see sand coming out of the entrance of the hole as the bird throws it back. It may take a while for you to understand when a bird is showing that it's displaying, flying out the hole, then back to it, trying to attract a female. A bird building is fairly obvious, but this doesn't mean that laying is imminent at all. 1 + 1, 2 in, 2 out, are all firm indicators that the female is about to lay or laying. And these should be looked for carefully once it's been seen, to watch to make sure that you're getting it correct. Feathers are often taken into a hole round about the time that the young are hatching, but of course they can be taken in at other times as well. Bird leaving a hole with a fecal sac should be noted particularly because obviously this indicates that there are live young in the hole. The number of young at the entrance should always be noted. Often the young in a brood are distinguishable. I then use this shorthand on a daily record sheet. You will probably not be so fortunate as to be able to watch your birds daily. This is, if we follow the cursor, this is one of the boxes at Arguin and Mains in 2008. It's been edited so that you can see it clearly enough. Days set out below, just below where the cursor is now. Days of the months. This is the whole, the number of the whole, and when the young fledged, the order in which the young fledged. 74, where the cursor is now, that was the 74 of the 120 holes. 104. Then you have the actual hole numbers 8. That's I prefer this method. Every hole is set out at an artificial site, of course. It's quite easy for this. And then we have what is actually seen at the hole entrance. One Y, that means there's just one young at entrance. Of course, we have no idea how many are actually in the hole. Sometimes we'll see 4 and occasionally 5, and that would be taken as the maximum number of young. Well, I wouldn't take it to the maximum young of room because we don't actually know how many there are, but it's rare. And this is 2 out. This means that 2 adults left. They all together. 1 in, 1 adult in, 1 adult out. Sack. This shows that there are live young in the hole. Of course, a feckless sac being removed. Then 2 out. Look out. That's can mean different things. But an adult bird sat looking out the hole, depending on the stage of the breeding season. But it does give a sort of clue. YB, young back. That means young can be seen back from the entrance to the hole. They're not quite ready to. Don't feel they're ready for actually fledging, going, and just back from the entrance. At a natural site, things are not quite so easy. For this one in 1976 of over 300 holes, I first of all photographed the colony and drew a grid on the photograph. You can see the lines faintly on here, and then showed the site and numbered the holes. Whether it actually at this time I put the shorthand actually on the hole. I had a daily sheet and put what was happening or what had been observed at the hole actually on the hole. And you might find it better to do this, but actually now I find it much better to have a separate sheet, note the number and write down what's happening on the separate sheet. It's a matter of choice. If you would like to send your records to the BTO, then first of all get in touch with the Next Records Unit at the address shown here, British Trust for Ornithology, the Nunnery, Thetford, Norfolk, IP 242PU. Tell them where you heard about the scheme. You don't have to be a member of the BTO to take part, but no doubt being a charity they'll try to encourage you to become a member, and of course it is the leading ornithological society in the UK, in my opinion.